Let me tell you something most men never hear growing up. If you don't read, you'll always be a follower. It doesn't matter how strong you are, how good you look, or how hard you train. If you're not reading, you're not thinking deeply. And if you're not thinking deeply, you'll never lead anyone, including yourself, because leaders are readers. Every man who rises, who builds something real, who commands respect, he feeds his mind as aggressively as he trains his body. Reading gives you access to strategies, mindsets, and truths that average men never tap into. So if you want to stop taking orders, stop reacting to life, and finally take the lead, this video is for you. And if you're done with confusion, excuses, and wasting time, then join my private coaching program. Inside, I'll show you how to think like a leader, act with clarity, and build a life of strength and respect. Join us by clicking the first link in the description down below. Let's break down exactly why reading is the separator between followers and leaders. Leaders learn the minds of great men. Followers repeat mistakes. One of the biggest advantages of reading is access to great minds. You get to sit with the thoughts of kings, warriors, investors, and builders, men who've already fought the battles you haven't faced yet. They made the mistakes, paid the price, and wrote down what they learned so you don't have to fall into the same traps. Followers skip this. They wing it. They try to figure everything out on their own, and they end up going in circles, making the same mistake generation after generation. Why? Because they never took the time to learn from men who already lived it. Reading is like having a council of mentors at your side 24/7. You want to understand strategy? Study Robert Greene. You want to master discipline? Learn from Marcus Aurelius. You want to build wealth? Read Napoleon Hill or Proverbs or Ecclesiastes. These men left roadmaps. Leaders take the time to study them. Followers hope that they'll figure it out. This is why reading isn't just a hobby, it's a tactical advantage. It shortens your learning curve, multiplies your wisdom, and it gives you confidence rooted in truth, not just motivation. You can follow the herd and stumble through life, or you can pick up a book and walk with the giants who've already paved the way. That choice, it separates you from the crowd. Reading builds your mental stamina so you can lead under pressure. Look around. Most men today are mentally soft. They can't hold a thought for more than 10 seconds without reaching for their phone. That kind of weakness, it disqualifies you from leadership, because leadership isn't just about making decisions. It's about making them under pressure. When the stakes are high and the path isn't clear, that requires mental stamina, focus, and inner discipline. And reading builds that. Every time you sit down and read a challenging book, you're training your mind to concentrate. You're forcing yourself to engage deeply, to think critically, to wrestle with ideas. That process makes your mind stronger. It's like lifting weights for your brain. Followers crumble when things get hard. They panic, they hesitate. They look around and wait to be told what to do. But leaders stay calm. They process, they think through the noise, and they act with purpose. If you want to be a man in a room who keeps his composure when everyone else is losing their mind, you need to develop that calm under fire. And it starts with disciplined thinking. So stop seeing books as entertainment. Start treating them like training grounds. Because every page that you read is a rep. And every rep makes you mentally harder to break. If you want to lead, start reading like it's your job. Because in many ways, it is. Readers think independently. Followers rely on others to think for them. This is the heart of leadership, thinking independently, not just parroting what you hear, not reacting emotionally, but actually breaking down situations, analyzing problems, and forming your own conclusions. The modern world doesn't encourage that. It encourages dependency. Followers scroll, consume, react. They take their opinions from headlines, influencers, and trends, and they end up saying what everyone else says and doing what everyone else does and never questioning it. But readers learn to think. When you read, especially deep, thought-provoking books, you engage with new perspectives. You question your assumptions. You weigh arguments. You form your own beliefs based on the truth, not just convenient. That's why readers become leaders. They're not swayed by every headline or trending opinion. They've trained their minds to go deeper, and people can feel that. When you speak, they listen. When you act, they follow, because they know your thoughts aren't surface level. They're actually grounded. That kind of man is rare and valuable. This is one of the core things I drill into every man inside my private coaching program. We don't just read to feel smart. We read to become dangerous thinkers. We sharpen your mind until it cuts through confusion like a blade. If you're ready to escape the herd mentality and start leading with conviction, let's build the mind of a leader together. Reading refines your language, and language is a weapon. You can't lead if you can't communicate. Simple as that. And most men today, they mumble, ramble, or sit in silence. That doesn't get respect. That doesn't move people. That doesn't get the job done. But when you read, especially books written with precision and purpose, you absorb strong language. You pick up rhythm, vocabulary, and clarity. And over time, that gets reflected in how you speak. You start using words like escapade, sharp, effective, impactful. Think about it. The most powerful leaders in history weren't always the strongest, but they could speak. They could cast vision, command the room, and get people to move. Why? Because their words carry weight. Followers talk just to be heard. Leaders speak to move people. That's the difference. Reading gives you the words, helps you say what needs to be said, clearly and powerfully. And when you can communicate like that, people listen. They follow. They trust you. So if you want to gain real influence, don't just lift more or dress better. Start reading daily. Sharpen your tongue by feeding your mind. Because when your language becomes strong, your leadership does too. Leaders play the long game. Followers are reactive. They chase dopamine, trends, and fast results. Their whole mindset is short term. How can I feel good today? How can I look good now? But leaders, they play the long game. They're strategic, patient, focused on legacy, not just attention. And guess what trains that mind better than almost anything else? Reading. Reading requires patience. You don't get the payoff in 5 seconds. You sit down, absorb, reflect, and process. You engage with ideas that shape your thinking over weeks, months, and years. That kind of habit rewires your brain to think long term. You stop looking for shortcuts. You start building. You start making moves today that'll pay off in 5 or 10 years. Followers live for the moment. Leaders build for the future. And reading is what keeps you anchored in that bigger vision. When you read about great men, men who built empires, raised legacies, and overcame chaos, you start thinking like them. You stop playing checkers. You start playing chess. So ask yourself, are you living like a man with vision, or a man that's just reacting to life? If you want to build something that actually lasts, reading must be part of your daily life. It sharpens your mind, strengthens your patience, and keeps your goal in focus while everyone else is distracted. Reading isn't optional if you want to lead. It's essential. It gives you access to wisdom, builds your mental toughness, sharpens your thinking, and helps you rise above the average. The men who read consistently are the ones who build, lead, and win. They follow, they react, they fade. If you're ready to stop sitting on the sidelines and finally take charge of your life, I want you to join my private coaching program today. I'll show you how to lead from the front, master your mindset, and become the kind of man others respect without question. This includes improving your fitness, improving your mindset, improving how you deal with women, and also improving your style. Click the first link in the description to join to get the full package on self-improvement. Pick up the books, step into leadership, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.